Hello everybody, I am TW1 and welcome back to Going Medieval, and today we're going to be starting a new save because the first look save that I've done 3 episodes, and entirely I made a lot of mistakes. I played the game since, I've done a couple of different tests, done a couple of different saves, and we made huge mistakes. I mean a lot of mistakes. We wasted resources, we wasted a lot of time, and I don't really want to teach you any bad habits. I don't want you to see any bad habits, so we're just going to kill that save because it would have taken a good hour to fix all the mistakes I made. Instead, start a new one. We're also going to do the whole of the spring. So this in-game, there is 12 days per season, and we are going to be doing spring this episode. The next episode will be summer, then it'll be autumn, then it'll be winter, and we have done a whole year, and then we can keep on going. We are also going to be doing survival. I want raids to be a little bit more frequent. It is better for the content. It's going to be more of a challenge, and it should give us a little bit more of a natural end as well to the game. It should allow us to, have a real fight on our hands, because I think I've got a little bit of an idea of what I want to do defensively. There are a few cheeses for this game currently. You can totally negate a lot of the raids and make it so your base is indestructible, but we're not going to do that because that is cheating, and we're not going to do that, and I don't like that at all. So last save we were no forking good, Norfolk. Instead, this time we're going to be so forking good. Suffolk, genius, absolute genius. We're going to keep the badge. We're going to go Valley type again as well, just because I think Valley is a good learning. It's a good learning map. I haven't looked at mountains yet. I have had a little look at Hillside. Hillside's interesting, definitely, and I am curious to see what kind of roles that we get on our characters. Now, animal handling at the moment is a pointless stat because there is no feeding or taming or training. It also says and hunting animals, but I don't see how animal handling is to do with hunting. Surely that'd be down to your marksman skills and how good you are with ranged weapons. So yeah, animal husbandry handling, should we say. I'm just going to ignore that. So we're definitely going to re-roll this person. You look very, very meh. Like very bad. I need to have a little quick braise. Alright, I'm going to do a few re-rolls, and we're going to come back when I've got a team that I'm happy with, and we're going to talk about why they are good, or why I am happy with them, should I say. Right, so I've done a little bit of re-rolling, and I'm now happy enough to go into my first spring with this team. We're going to have a little quick look over Robert here. He has one bag perk, which is this one. I'm not a huge fan of someone who wants to sleep a little bit longer, but we're just going to have to deal with that one. He's 53, that's fine. He's a cheerful bruiser, which gives him extra culinary, botany, construction, and medicine as well as this, which is a cool one. He's brawny, he's powerful, and carries out tough jobs effortlessly. A boost to his mining, a boost to his movement speed, his global work speed, his melee damage multiplier, and his unarmed damage. That's a great little boost, that one. And you get brawler as well, so he's good at melee, and he gets a little bit more unarmed damage. So you can give him just his fists, and if he gets a good enough melee stat, he's going to do some damage. He's only got 4 melee now, but we could give him a melee weapon, and that could then grow, and he could become stronger and more powerful at that. So that's not a terrible option. You then have Bomboff, which was a random role name, and I think it's brilliant. And I don't mind him as well. His mood target is 5% plus, and his mood change speed is minus 5% as well. So his mood is a little bit easier to control, which is great, but he is a little bit dumb. He doesn't gain XP as much. He's quite clumsy, and he's not very intelligent, but does have high construction. He is quite good at carpentry, and he has a star of marksmanship, which means he is going to be happy to do marksmanship as well. And he's also got tailoring, which is to make some clothes. It's also not too bad all round. And then we have Tud, who is a little bit of a weirdo, but we don't mind it. He does nothing better than the cold air, which is good for winter, Snow White perk. He's disfigured as well, which is probably not the greatest thing, but that's fine, we'll ignore that. and he's got his motor function is minus 5%, but it's 2 stars in melee, so he's going to be very happy to do melee, and he gets 2 star in construction. That means he's going to be happy to do construction, and he's gained a lot of XP as well. It's not a great setup. There is a mod that you can go in here and change all the stats. We're going to go with this. I'm happy with it. We've got a full man team. They're all quite old. We'll see how that affects it, but let's crack on and get into this as well. We're just going to embark straight away, and first and foremost, I'm going to pause it. And I'm going to have a think about where I want to set up base. And you have to think about a couple of things. One is terrain, because you can use natural terrain like this to your advantage. One, it's a defensive position. If you place your base on this side and the enemy comes from the other side, they're going to have to navigate this natural terrain, and that is going to be an advantage for you. Secondly, you know that you want to be storing food underground. What is the fastest way of getting underground? Using natural terrain, then digging only a few blocks in, and then you're underground, and you're going to be making a cellar very, very quickly, and that is going to be very efficient for you. Second thing as well is you want to be looking out for nearby plants and shrubbery that you can be eating from. So for example, you got this berry bush over here that, if you use the right person with high botany, is going to continuously give you berries. That is good for brewing, that is good for food, and that is a very, very quick way of just having a little quick setup. You know, you don't need to do too much else. I'm just going to have a little look around the map just to make sure there's not a better location that maybe has a little bit of a better cellar location maybe, or something like that. We're just going to have a little scan. But that spot to me looks very, very good. Here is a lot of clay, for example, so we could go for a clay setup. But I think that's a little bit more of a late game. I think the spot that we found first and foremost was very, very good. So we are going to set up in this region. And that means we then need to build a couple of things. First, we need a default stockpile, and we need to put all our stuff over in here as well. We don't want them to walk over there all the time, so we need to make a little stockpile just for them to come over here and do that. So an 8x8 is a lot of items. That is enough stockpile very, very quickly. Do not worry about that. And then we need to sort out who is wearing what gear. So we just need to go through who's got the right parts for the what things and make sure that they are doing that. So you're the melee guy, you've got some melee, so we're going to give you a spear. That is that. You can equip that. Robert, you are... Oh, Robert is that guy. Bum, you also have... Oh, Bum is the guy who needs to be picking up the bow. You can't pick up that one because that requires 10 marksman skills, so you can't pick up this one. Pick up that, and Dud can also pick up a melee unit. You can pick up the sword. Just make sure that they pick up the right things. Yes, you are not picking up anything, so you can pick up that one. Now you've picked up that, you can pick up the shield. And you can also then pick up the fine linen gabardine as well when we get that. So you now collect that as well, and then you can all pick all of that stuff up. We can then untick all of this so that can be shifted over to where we want it to be, which is where our base is going to be. And we need to go through the jobs tab. The quickest way of doing this is just to see that gold is going to be that they are very good at that. That is their best stat, and if it's red like this, they're going to be really bad. As you can see, he's got 0, so just get rid of that. There's no point in him doing any research. You're going to find weaknesses, you're going to find holes in your team. That is when you're going to hope that the new settlers that come in, if they've escaped from a raiders camp, or they're just going to come in because they're injured or something, you hope that they fill in these gaps for you. I think getting high botany off the start and high marksmanship on maybe one character is very, very important, and somebody who doesn't mind mining, because you're going to do quite a little bit of mining early on in the game, and it's something that you're going to do throughout as well, because you need to dig up clay and that. So I'm just going to set all of this up. Then we'll have a quick little gloss through so you can understand what I have done. Right, I have set them up initially. This is a very basic, and this will be changing all the time because you're going to get new guys come in and they're going to fill in different gaps as well. So you're always going to be tweaking this, but this is what I'm going to go with. Off the start, it should cover me for most of spring without too much issue. As you can see, we've got a very, very good botany here covered. That's excellent to see. So he's going to be cutting plants first and foremost. Always it goes from left to right, so they're going to go along the line of first to 10. So if anyone's injured or medical situation, they will tend to that thing first and foremost. Then it will look for the next one, which is going to be cut plants. So if there's any cut plant message out there or command for them to go do, they will go do that. After that, they will then cook. So I might want to change that around depending on how this goes. Like, I might want to make that a 2, just so they cook food first and then they go cut plants. But that's something that we can micromanage and tweak on the fly yourself. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Then they're going to cook food, and then they'll realise, oh, there's no more 1s, so they're going to go back to the start of the list and go along. Oh, here's a 2 for harvest, then a 2 for hauling. I'll set all of the guys for hauling because there's going to be a lot of hauling early on. And then hopefully, we normally get one settler who joins who is pretty useless, but you could just make them haul everything for you. They make their main job just to haul shit around, and that's going to be really important for you. So this is the setup we're going to go for straight away. And then we need to plan for one thing, and that is going to be getting a little bit of a base on the way. Getting a bedroom up. Bedrooms are the first thing to do, in my opinion. So first we need a couple of trees to be chopped. First thing is you want to be chopping mature or dead trees. You don't want to be chopping the growing ones. Let's see if I can find one that is growing, just to give you an example. There you go. It's going to give me 30 yield out of that and 15 sticks. As you can see, this mature one is going to be 50 and 25. That is a lot better. And this dead one, for example, is going to be 45 and 20. So chop the dead ones, chop the mature ones. Do not chop any of the growing ones. Leave those alone, let them grow, and then you can get full resources out of those in the future, and that is going to be a lot more important. Same for these as well. When they are ripe, you can harvest them. When you're flowering, what is the point? When they're ripening, if you're in a pinch and you have to. When they're budding, you're only going to get sticks out of them, so when they're ripe, just have a little harvest. That is great. The other thing that we need to be doing very quickly is building our cellar and getting underground as well. So that's something that you have to have done for summer. So we have 12 days to build a cellar. Otherwise all of our food is going to be very hard to keep on top of, and we are going to struggle with that. But first, let's lay out the floors for a couple of bedrooms. Let's put it in 1 speed just so these guys can start hauling stuff as well. And in the future we need to get this off the ground, and we need to put a roof above it as well. But I think bedrooms is going to be your first priority, and I'm just going to put some wicker sticks up, and we're going to do that as well, just to allow them to grab those. We're going to do a couple of these quick floorings, and they prefer to have it so they can actually have their own bedroom. If you can do that, it gives them a little bit of a morale boost. If you can do that, it makes them a little bit happier in the morning, and their mood will affect how quickly they'll work and other little bits like that. So that's really important. If you can build 3 bedrooms off the start, that is going to be a great boost for your guys. That's going to make them a lot easier to deal with in the mornings. It's just a little micro thing really, but it really can help you out a lot. So we're just going to build 3 very quick bedrooms. We're going to throw these doors in like so. Make sure that they don't rotate the wrong way around. And then throw a thatched or wood roof. Rotate for R. And that is that. So once that is built, we then have our bedrooms built. We obviously need to put the hay and beds in there. So press C to get rid of the roof to hide that out of the way. And then we need to worry about crafting and butchery table and cooking. So 3 beds in. And I do really want to just highlight one thing. These are decaying in 10 years, 9 days and 14 hours. That is metal parts, so it's not really a great example. This one is a little bit better, 33 days, because of the ground type. And that can be sped up if it is raining or snowing, because there is no roof at the moment. So if you can, soon as these bedrooms are built, I'd build a little quick shack for all your storage in, just to cover those up. That would be a great thing. But we're just going to let these build the bedroom, because that kind of covers the first night, and that's going to be the most important thing for the night. And then you can start planning, where are we going to start digging in to put this cellar, which is very important. A cellar is huge in this game. for example, we're probably going to start chopping some of these trees out of the way. We'll just collect these resources, these clay ones, just get them out of the way as well. There's a few more dead trees around, get them out of my face. Because once we built that, and we got the cellar under the way, and we've got a barn up, for example, for most of our other storage, we then need to start thinking about defences. We need to think about archers and little bits like that. So I'll be back once the bedroom is all built. Right, he is now hammered in the final little parts. As you can see, it's now said room created bedroom, because you have now made 3 separate bedrooms, which is great for you guys. We made them 3x3 for one reason. Reason being that these may be 2x1 at the moment, but the bigger beds are actually 3x1, so you're going to need that free space. I just like having a little bit more room. I don't want them to be too cramped. That's just a personal preference. You can make them one smaller if you really want. It's saying food reserves stockpile is low. Do not worry about that if you've moved your default stockpile too far away, because if you moved it far away, they're probably going to left some of this stuff over here. Here's cabbage, for example, and little bits like that, which is decaying because of the ground type and the temperature in 9 days. So you need to either get those eaten, or you need to get those into a position where they're not going to decay very quickly. So that is what we are going to focus on next, is building a quick barn, and we're just going to try and make it pretty simple. And size is honestly the thing. Like, you cannot make this too big, but you don't want to be overstretching your resources. You don't want to be overstretching your time as well. 19 hours, and we will be looking at the schedule once we have built this. So just kind of lay out a pretty simple flooring plan. Just maybe, yeah, I think 10x5. That's 50 blocks. That's pretty large. And we're just going to allow them to build the floor first. We're not going to worry about the walls, because they're going to be going to bed very shortly. And while they're in bed, we can have a quick look at the schedule. And this is all about, when do you want them to work, when do you want them to sleep, when do you want them to have free reign of what they would like to do with their day, and leisure time. They will need leisure time, they will need plenty of sleep as well. So we're just going to blank this one off, because you can copy and paste. That's very easily like that, copy and paste. It gives you a blank working space. I like to allow them to sleep for 7 hours. 7 hours seems to be the right amount. Now, one of these guys had a perk where he likes to sleep more. We need to find him and where that is. That is not you, and that is not you either. So is it Robert? Robert likes to sleep. He likes to have a bit of a layered. So we're going to give him an extra 2 hours of sleep, because that's probably going to help his mood. We just can't be dealing with someone who's in a grump, because if their mood gets too low, they then become annoyed, delusional, rebellious, and then if they become broken, they will leave your settlement, and you do not want that. So allowing him to have a couple of hours of extra sleep so he doesn't get annoyed is going to be very important. Then from there, I like to give them 1 hour off to grab some food, and then we're going to put them to work. So you can do 4 hours, you can do 4 hours, and you can do 4 hours. Once you do that, I'm going to give them a little bit of leisure time just so they can enjoy the afternoon. In the summer, you might want to move the sleeping into midday if it's really, really hot, and in the winter you might want to be changing this totally as well, but we'll get to that when we get to those seasons. Give them another hour off to do that, and then we're just going to work them for another few hours, like so, and then like that. That is fine and dandy. You're going to be just going to sleep later, so that is going to be your leisure time, and these guys gain 2 hours of anything. That is what I'm going to be giving them. So they have 4 hours of anything, they have 3 hours of leisure time, and they're doing work for 10 hours a day. 10 hours seems fine and dandy to me. Allow them to build that wall, and they will probably be getting exhausted. Let me guess, this is the guy that likes to sleep a lot. It is, and he is already exhausted, as you can see, and we are 2 hours away from them sleeping. So 8 hours might not be enough for this guy. I might have to give him more sleeping time, which is going to be really frustrating. But it's going to be one of those things. We also need to get a campfire up, and we need to get a butchery table as well, but we need to get those inside a building, because that allows that to be a little bit quicker. We don't want to put them in the bedrooms at all, because that will then make it so it's not a bedroom, and if they are a bedroom they get a little bit of boost. You can see that by doing this, as you can see all across here. So a shared bedroom is different to a bedroom. This is the bedroom, and they will be happy when they wake up because of that. That is really important. I'm going to let them sleep, and we'll catch them in the morning. We're going to have a few more jobs for them to do. 2 of them have risen. Meal preparation is missing, so they're going to go grab some food, and whatever that may be, we don't really mind at this point. They just need to eat. We haven't got time to put a campfire up yet, because we need to get all of their storage off the ground and in a barn. So first and foremost, wooden walls. We're going to put some wooden walls in. Wooden walls, and we will be putting in a few windows as well, because that helps out with the summer and the heat of the place. So door there, and then if it goes yellow, it means it's going to replace what's already there. So we're just going to put a couple of windows in, and I'll put a window that side and a window that side as well. Probably should have given them a window in their bedroom, but feck 'em, they can deal with not having that. Robert is still going to be snoozing away because it's fine, and the game does give you on this new life mode a few packaged meals, so that's all fine and dandy. You've got some meals back. If you go for the lone wolf build, I suppose your priorities are going to be a little bit different, because you're going to be looking for food a little bit more intensely. We'll cover that in a later video. But yeah, they're now going to build these walls. That means that we can delete the stockpile that we just made. But we're not going to delete all of it. We're just going to shrink it, because some of these items can actually stay outside. Wood cannot. It's got a year. We ideally need that inside. Yes, that has 10 years on it, but ideally want it inside. Books definitely need to be inside. If you lose your books, you lose your research. That is really, really bad. Same for linen, and you also want your items like your bow inside as well, because they do all your damage, and your simple healing kit. So we will make this smaller, but we're going to get rid of a few of these things. So what can stay outside? Carcasses. Yes, some carcasses can stay outside. Humans, we don't really mind, they can stay outside. They should go in a dump pile, but we'll do that later when we get round to that. Food, definitely not. Materials, yes, some materials are staying outside, some are not. So hay is going inside, vinegar is going inside, but clay bricks is staying out. So we're just going to tick through all of these that can stay outside, because some of these will not decompose on the ground. Some of them won't even decompose because of the elements at all. That can snow on some of these things and it won't matter at all. So sticks need to come in, all of that in. Textiles need to come inside. Warfare needs to come inside. Waste can stay outside because it's already wasted, and books can come inside as well. We're then just going to make a default pile, and we're just going to do the exact opposite of what we've just done with that. So we're going to untick all of the things that we don't want inside, and then once that is done, you can just unclick that and press play and allow them to start building away. We'll do a 2-speed so they get chopping and get dealing out. Just going to have a little peek at my resources. I've got 517 wood and 85 sticks. I probably could do with chopping down a few more trees, so we'll get rid of some more of these dead ones. Use H as your shortcut key. We'll definitely get someone just out chopping trees and clearing away as well. We need a good line of sight for our archers in the future, so a lot of these trees in this position here definitely need to go because they're in a bad place. So we will do that as well in the future. Food wise, how much have we got? I don't know if we've dragged all of it over from where we started yet or not. By the looks of it, we have. That is good. So we should have plenty of food here. That is going to be hauled inside very shortly. That should be great. Yep, food is being done. That is going up. That is going up. That is going up. You are orange. That is fine and dandy. Final bit of wall to build, and now we need to put a roof on it. Thatched, because do we have a lot of hay? We don't have much hay. We don't have much hay, so but we are going to go for thatched, and I'm just going to go grab some more of that. So R again to rotate it, and then we'll just select some of these, and it's B to harvest and cut. So we'll just collect a few more bits of hay. Of course, not going to do that because that is growing, so we're not going to get a good yield. We're not going to get any yield out of that at all. We will get 30 out of these ones that are grown. After a while, you just know which ones are grown and which one aren't. You can just see yourself, so that can get a little bit easier. That is a dead plant, so we'll cut that as well. That can get out of my way. That's a J. And then once they've collected all that and build the roof, the game is now asking for meal preparation and a research table. And for now, we're just going to throw them inside this building because we're not going to need all that storage space, and we need to get these inside a building at least. So one, I was going to ask them to open these windows because I want to lower the temperature of this room a tad, because that would be handy. So just click on these and say open, and then someone with high stewarding should go around and do that. Just going to make him a 2 on a stewarding. Stewarding you can make quite high because they rarely do anything stewarding wise, so they'll just check it every now and then and just go around and do all of the tasks that you need to do. That's important for lighting torches and putting torches out depending on the season, winter, summer. Same for shutting and opening windows, same for lighting fires and putting fires out. All the little bits like that, all to do with that, as well as locking doors, which you can do during raids and stuff like that. So that's for then. So I'm going to allow them to finish building this barn, and while they are finishing this barn, we are going to place down our butchery table, which is in production tab. So we're going to pop the production butchery table over there, place a campfire nearby, rotate them round, as well as a research table. In the future, these will be in their own separate buildings because, as you can see up here, kitchen requires a butchery table and a stove and some other little bits to make a butchery. Then provides a boost to the production speed of those items. Workshop as well should have all of those listed items. That gives a boost to production speed. Library gives a boost to your research tables as well. So in the future, that's something to build towards, but this first spring we just need to get them inside, because as they're inside, 120% boost to production. If they were outside, that would be 80%. If it is raining, that would be 50%. You do not want that. And on the butchery table, you have raw meat. All I like to do is I just like to have forever. That means whenever you get a carcass come in, that is a human, whatever it is, you just go in here and you can tick human if you want human or not. I don't want them to be eating, don't want them to be cannibals. None of them are cannibals, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, as soon as the carcass comes in, they will then chop it up and make it into raw meat. And then over here, you need to queue up your production. So I like to go to until you have, and I like to do, they have 2 meals per day. So you need to have 6 at all times. So I'm going to do 6 at all times. And that means whoever is the cooking person should go in here, cook up some food. It's this guy right here. I'm going to make that a 2 for now, so he starts actually cooking some food, comes in, cooks the food. When there's 6, he goes on and does something else. That should do that. Eventually you'll probably have someone who's pretty much dedicated to chefing all of the time, most of the time, because it is a big job when you have lots and lots of settlers. Research panel has now just been unlocked as well, so we can get the architecture up. We need to then start aiming for agriculture, because we need to start planting food ready to bulk store food for the winter, because you're going to need a lot of food for the winter. And we are just going to allow them to complete all of the jobs that we have set out for them today. I think that just means hauling a few bits around, sorting out the piles, picking up the wood. Right, so as they are about to be getting up in a couple of hours, we're just going to slow it down to 1 speed and set up where we are going to be digging, so we can get into having a cellar very quickly. So I think in here is going to be the quickest way into underground. So we're just going to dig on this layer, that one, and that one out. And then whoever is our digger, we shall get them doing that. Do we have anyone to be set up to do mining? Yes. You have a 1 on your mining. You have an interest in it, so you're going to be happy doing it. So Tud is going to be doing some digging for us. We'll speed it up so they wake up. Get him digging. Got a little bit more harvesting to do when they wake up. We're then going to have the meals completed as well. Just waiting for a worker. So we have 3 meals waiting for them this morning already. They have 6 days on them because of the temperature of the room. That is going to be extended very, very quickly because we're going to be building this cellar, and that is going to be allowing that to be a little bit more efficient for us, which is going to be huge. So once Tud has dug this out, I will be back with you. Right, now Tud is hungry, so after that he's going to do some mining. Robert is going to chop down all of this. So we need to give Buttonoff a job for the day, and that is going to be leisure activities. So we need a couple of separate little rooms for these guys, and then a blackgammon table somewhere as well. Ideally, I'd like to get a table up with a few stools because they like eating at a table that makes them happier. So over here looks like a pretty good spot. Where's the door to come out of this place? Oh, it's there. I made it there, did I? Interesting. So, not a zone. I need some wicker flooring. We're just going to make a pretty large room off the bat. There we go. 12 by 5, 12 by 6, 12 by 6 will do. Takes a little bit of chopping to do. That's going to be a lot of wicker flooring. You can use wood. It does improve your travel speed by 5%. I like using sticks because you don't really use sticks for much else. And the thermal level is the same as wood, so it doesn't really bother me. Tud is constructing. Why are you constructing? Shouldn't you be digging? Or have you done digging? Have you finished digging out? You have. Well done, my friend. Well done. Alright, I'm going to set you up to do a little bit more digging. Dig those 2 out as well, Tud. Thank you very much. So Buttonoff and Robert are just going to knock this floor in. Robert's then going around chopping up these trees and hay, which is excellent. And I'll be back once Tud has dug this out, because then we're going to place some doors down. Tud has done that, so we're just going to place a couple of doors down there very quickly. That is then going to lock this in place, making that a cold cellar once that happens. So go through there, dig all of that out, and then we need to scroll using control in the wheel just to get a better view of underground slightly, because we need to start digging out more. And I mean a lot. We need to dig a lot out. So I don't like digging this way too much, because I found that I can dig the wrong layer out a little bit too easy. So I like to dig slowly, like bit by bit, so I know exactly what I'm digging, because once you remove the topsoil, you can't replace the topsoil with dirt. You have to replace it with a wall, and a wall does not have a good thermal rating compared to the dirt. Dirt is 0.99, and the thermal rating of the walls is like a 0.93 for your clay and limestone, so it's not as efficient. So we just have to slowly chip away at digging this out. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, but it is definitely the best method for it. And once we do that, as you can see, outside at the moment is that, and then once the doors are in, it's going to lower the temperature in here, and that's going to be excellent. They're now off to sleep, so I'll catch you in the morning once they are woken up and ready for another day of action. Right, they are now up. I've got to bum off just re-sorting this flooring out, just because I'm being a little bit OCD about it, if I'm honest. After that, he is then going to build this wall, put it on 1 speed so he can continue working while I do this. And that is going to be a quick barn all the way around, and then we'll plonk a door in that gap. And I probably should put some windows in just so it can breathe a little bit in there. So yellow, there's a couple of windows, and we can get those opened if we want, and that will keep the room nice and cool. Tud somewhere over here should continue to be digging, and Bummouth has just popped over here to build these 2 doors for me, which is great, while Robert, I think, is just woken up from his slumber. Now we have created a spare room. If we peek underground, as you can see, the temperature, which is up here top right, so it's like 15.9 outside. You know, a little bit chillier in the shade. In here, minus 0.7 C. That is cold. That is very, very good for storing food. So we need to dig a little bit more, so we have a little bit more room for our food storage. So I'm just going to keep digging that out, and then going to place a flooring down. So wicker, wood, limestone, clay, doesn't really matter. put a flooring down, and then the food storage will be good once we put the little zone in as well, but we're not going to do that yet. So while they are doing that, and while that room is being built, we are going to place in a couple of leisure items as well. So we need to put in a table of some sorts. Medium looks like a good size. Rotate that round a little bit. We'll put that in the center of the room because that is the grand table. We like that indeed. We'll then put a couple of stools around it, there and there. They can walk through stuff, so you could put stools here if you want, but I don't mind. I'm happy to have them like that. And they also need a backgammon table, so they are happy. So too many backgammon tables, so I'm just going to throw it in the corner like so. And then it's space to expand into as well. If we ever need to put anything in here, we can. Nothing quite yet. It's always good to have extra room and space, so we'll just let them continue building that, and then we'll keep on micromanaging Tud over here and make sure that he's digging out what we want. We're going to just start really expanding this out, so 3 on that side, 3 on this side, and the 2 there, and really get that growing underground. While all this is being built, always keep an eye on your right hand side of your resources just to make sure you've got enough food for the day. So I've got 8 stews sitting there at the moment, as well as a couple of other little red currants, which is fine, so I know I've got enough food. Ale is something that we need to start working towards, so we need to probably set up our research table to start producing some things. So let's come in here, select this, and we need to start getting up to about 15. So not forever, because we don't want to be stuck there, but you know, we'll also get with another 5 will unlock us another research. We're going to go probably into agriculture next, and that will then allow us to unlock farms, because we want to get farms up probably about day 6 of spring. Gives them a good few days in spring, and then a load of the summer to bulk up our farms and get them ready for harvest. And then once they're harvested, you can then have a load of bulk food ready for winter, and that would be excellent. The cellar is a little way away, isn't it? It's a bit of a walk. Just notice how much of a walk that is. We'll probably build towards the cellar, that's fine. It is a bit of a walk though. And Tud has nearly finished digging that out. Good. We're going to set him up to do a little bit more digging, and then we probably will have a good base size. So that's that 4x4. That'll be a good size to then plop in some flooring and other bits as well. So I'll be back with you once that is all put in. Day 5 has begun, and I've decided that this building is being a great idea just to put an upstairs on it, just so we can do this as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pump up another layer. So first I need a staircase, of course, so rotate that round. It can go into the corner. The great thing about the staircases is that they can actually leave and join the staircase from all angles as well. So that's really, really cool. I'm just going to pull it back just for aesthetics reasons. We're then going to need a wooden beam, so we'll need a couple of wooden beams along here and along here. They do not go more than 15 blocks though, and they won't attach to a door or where a window is, so you need to be careful about that. So we'll just space a couple of wooden beams out along here, along here, along here, like so. And then we're going to need a flooring up here, and because I have a lot of wood and because I'm feeling fancy, we'll put a wood floor up here because we're being nice. Spread that out, and then you can also spread it. It won't build where the staircase is. The game will recognise that that is a staircase. That is all good. And then once that is up here, we're obviously going to need some more wood walls, but we'll worry about that once the floor is built. Tud is still over here constructing all of this. He is with Boomoof, who is now constructing the floor for us as well, which is wonderful. Robert is enjoying some entertainment because he is the lazy guy who wakes up late. We'll let him do what he is doing, and then he can crack on with doing that. And the game has also said that the food reserve stockpile is a little bit low, so we'll probably do a little bit of a harvest. And it is asking for us to build up our defences. I would ignore that for another day though, because around day 6 or a day down 7 you get a settler join you, and then from that you then get your first raid if you agree to not give the settler up. So we're then going to worry about defences a little while, not quite yet. Our cellar has now been completed and it has a wicker floor. We could of course digging out more in the future to expand it. So there is no worries about that. I've got plenty of room to dig into if we ever need to dig further and further and further. But for now, I am happy with the size of this. So we're going to put a default stockpile like so. I'm going to select it and we're going to clear all, because we need to put in the exact things that we want. So we're going to want carcasses, we're going to have animals, and we're going to want all of those three. Those three can go in. We're not going to want humans. Food, we're going to tick all of them. We need all of the food in the world in this. We're also going to need herbs, healing, and healing kits as well, because they can all degrade because of temperature as well. And as you can see, 3 degrees on a nice summer's day. That is excellent. Don't put a torch in there. Torch can put heat in there. You don't want the heat. That is very important for the summer as well. And at the moment, for all I can tell, 1 layer deep or 2 layers deep, it's the same difference. So that is now done. But because that is now done, we need to go in here, deselect the food and the healing kits as well. We need those shifted over. Right, so now we have our first barbarian snack. Is someone who has ran away from cannibals, and he is saying, can I join the settlement? Just agree. You can also click here, you can have a little read about him, so you can read his background, you can read what his religion is like, his age, and also the important things, which is his stats. He's a culinary, so he is going to be probably doing a lot of cooking for us. He has an interest in botany, which is good for us as well. We can use that. He can chop down some trees as well. And he is just a casual guy, so we're happy with that, and we're going to allow him to join. So we will help him. He will come over. He has some wounds that he needs to be attended to, so because he has a wound that we need to attend him to, I'm going to put him to sleep. Go to sleep, my friend. He will come in, probably nab some food, and then go to bed. And once he goes to bed, someone who has high medical will do that. We also need to go through and sort all of these out as well. As well as going through and sorting all of this out, this all food. I'm just going to switch to a normal thing, which means that they're not going to be eating humans, they're not going to be eating all of these things. You can go through and just set up all of these. Here's your food preferences. If you want to have a little look, it's in here, and it is meal. I've just got them set up to eat meals as well, and they're not going to eat any lavish meals that contain human or roasted meat, or packaged meals that contain human or smoked meal. And they're not going to eat anything raw, because if they eat something that's raw, they can get annoyed and upset as well, as they can get ill. So you just want to make sure that they have all of this normal set up, like so. And did he have any good marksman skills? No, he is pretty useless, so he's going to have to wait for a weapon, because I don't think we have a weapon for him at the moment, which is frustrating. We're not going to hunt any deer either to give him the better bow. We could hunt deer, get Bumboff's stat to 10, then give him the other bow, but that's too much to worry about that. So he's gone to bed. Someone should then tend to his wounds, which is what Tud is doing. That is good. He's going to pick up a healing pack. He's then going to run over there and heal him up. Now once that is happening, you just check on what injuries he has got. He's got a bruised chest, so it's up to you. Do you want him to come out of this or not? He's got 19 hours until that evades. If it's like a bad injury, just let him rest. Let him get his hit points back up. His blood is raising back up as well. That's all well and good. So what I'm going to do is probably go into schedule and copy paste, and you can also go into him and read what his perks are as well, because that is going to be important to know. Make sure that he hasn't got any shackles on you. If he's got some shackles on, you can force drop them, and that'd be another handy thing to know. So what perks do we have? He has the outgoing perk, which means his mood and his mood change as well as Snow White. So he's also a person who likes the winter time, which is another good stat to have. Right, so I've just gone through all of the jobs and all of that. I've just made him a medic, because that is always a great thing to have, and he's got a good enough stat to do that. 11 is fine and dandy for medicine, just in case any of the others who are medics get an injury. That's fine. Hunting, I'm going to get rid of. Construction, he can find free. That is all well and good. He's got a good amount of botany skill, and he's also got a passion in that, so I'm going to allow him to do a little bit of harvesting and chopping trees and growing plants. Mining, he's actually not terrible at mining, so we're going to allow him to do a little bit of that if he's got nothing else to do. But the main one, research and hauling. I want him to be researching and I want him to be hauling stuff as well. So he is now going to be cracking on, of whenever we have a chance to do some research, he will be doing that. But you may also notice I do not have enough beds for him, so I should have been making him a bed. For now, we're just going to throw a bed in the ground over here. Not in the ground, should I say, just in this room. He can sleep in here, that is fine. We'll do that, and we'll tell Toad to construct that, and then he can go to sleep, and it will be next day. And we have 13 hours until the enemy is coming, so we need to build a couple of little archer posts tomorrow very, very quickly. So it's a couple of hours until they wake up, but we can start planning where we want to be putting maybe an archer post or two when we get this raid. At the moment, I'm quite happy in my defensive position over this side. I can use my positioning to use this terrain to my advantage to make the enemy slower and put some archer damage on them before they get anywhere near me. I cannot do that from this side though, so I'm going to want a couple of little archer posts this side and this side, just to give me a little bit of a tactical advantage. You can build a bigger wall if you want. You would use these wooden walls, and then on top of those walls you would put these wooden spikes, and that will be very, very, you can build a compound in that sense. It'll be very hard for them to break into, and then you build a couple of platforms that your archer can shoot down from. We're not going to do that though, because I think that's a lot of resources, and I don't think that's necessarily needed early on, especially early on. So these trees are not in the greatest position, so we're going to build quite tight to our base, which we can always expand upon. So these are then can become like defensive positions that we fall back to in the future. So I'm just going to do a couple, so 5 and then 4 this way. It just builds a little L shape like that, and then we'll do a carbon copy over here as well. And what we're going to do is just build a couple of quick little platforms to work from, and then I'll build one and then I'll build the other one off screen so you don't have to see. I will place a door in here though, because for a little bit of storage I'm going to have in the future, and that's important. I will need a wood beam just along the wall somewhere. It can't go across the door, of course, we know that, so I have to go there. Then we just put a wicker floor up here because that is the cheapest resource that we have. That can go along there like so. And then we just need a staircase. I'm just going to come up a couple of layers just to make that a little bit clearer to see. And I like having 2 separate staircases ideally, because then it allows you a way on and off if in a pinch if you need. So that like so. Doesn't look the prettiest, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but that does definitely work. And then we're going to need some wooden spikes on top. So quarter piece of course. Quarter piece there, quarter piece there, and then we'll probably slap a quarter piece there as well. And then we just need to do these ones as well, so he can go there, them along there. This is probably not the easiest thing to see in the world that I'm building, but there we go. And this will make a nice little compound, or just a place for our archers to sit and do some damage. And then we can place our melee guys in the middle as a little bit of an ambush as well, or place some stick traps around just to catch some people. So maybe a couple of stick traps there, and a couple of stick traps there. Really could be handy for us, because they'll get attracted to the archer tower. Melee guys will be sitting in here, they'll come round, hit the traps, and get lit up as well as being attacked by the melee. That's the plan, anyways. But if it goes that way, we shall see in 6 hours and 12 minutes. So we are going to build both of these off screen, so I'll be back once they're all built and ready to go. Right, so they are now demanding that they take Blake back, and because they want them back now, we have a choice. We can either surrender him, it's going to make everyone in the camp upset, or we can fight. It's going to make everyone have a positive mood, but we're going to be attacked by 3 separate people. Now, I didn't get the defenses up in time, but they've spawned in an interesting position where we can use the terrain to our advantage anyway. So If I was you, I'd start this build a little bit earlier than I did, but it doesn't matter because we can now select them all. So shift click all of these guys, draft, and we are going to pull them into position where we want them. Now we're going to come over here into this direction towards them, and we have Blake who's unarmed. I don't actually have a weapon for Blake at all, and one of these guys, if we're going to be properly mid-max about this, I should take the gear off the person who liked brawling with his fists and give it to Blake, but I really don't know who that was. Who was the guy who likes to fight? Who likes to have a fight? Robert. Robert likes to fight, so manage Robert. You can drop that, my friend, and then you can pick all weapons. In fact, where did Robert drop that? Just there. So we'll get rid of that. We'll select Blake. And you can pick up that spear. Equip that on your way through, my friend. There we go. Now we're in a better position. And we're going to continue walking over this direction. And what we're going to do is we're going to find who the archer is. And we're going to pop him up on this hill. So, who is my archer? Bumolf. Get rid of that off my screen. You, my friend, are going up here. Do you have a way to retreat? Yeah, there's enough space for you to retreat if needed. And you guys will hopefully attract the attention of these guys. Now, one of these guys is quick. Movement speed is high. We need to find who our quickest guy is, which is you, Robert. You are now Mr. Bait. You are bait. We're going to use you as bait, and we're going to drag him into this position right here. Hopefully the enemy will see him and come down into this position, and that is going to give Butmoff a lot of time to start shooting at him. So here we go. The raid has begun. We're on 1 speed and they're coming down the ramp. That is perfect, and as you can see already, being targeted from by this guy right here. We're going to target that guy, and then all we're going to do is just drag him back and back, because he is then going to come up here. He missed that attack, and hopefully our archer will hit a shot or two. He has hit that guy already. He can now hit him. That would be great. And then these guys could all swarm attack that one right there. So attack, 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 and that should be all good. And you are attacking Lambert. Lambert is attacking Buttmuff, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to drag Buttmuff away from this fight. I do not want that to happen at all. And then it's just RNG, because I need you guys to win this fight. That's all I need you to do. I need you to fight, and win. And you, I'm just going to keep dragging away, and then find a ramp down. So you can go there. So keep running. Keep running, you're quick enough to do it. Turn around and fight because he's ran away. There you go, you can turn around and fight. Pull the bow back and have a shot. Hit him, beautiful. Then you can run away again. Excellent. And we just need to micromanage this fight. So Robert is taking a lot of the battle, and there we go, we got the kill on those two guys. And that means this guy right up here is trapped all by himself. And we're going to go for the kill. We don't have to, but we are going to. He's already walking quite slow, so Buttmuff has the chance to get the kill with the shots, really. He isn't doing it very well, to be fair to him. So in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to undraft you and undraft you, and you can start going back and doing your job. And you can just target him, and he's ran away, so he's done that. That's fine and dandy. You guys could be undrafted. You could get undrafted. And this gear over here we can have a little look at to see what we want. And that sturdy helmet, for example, I will take. That is a nice little thing. And Robert as well, you can grab that. Or that knife. Yeah, Robert, you grab the sturdy iron dagger. And we'll just allow those to be picked up. There we go, they can be picked up, that's fine. Equipping item, equipping item. So we'll get them equipped, and then we'll get them hauled back to base where we need to build a little bit of a fire. And I did change the schedule so they're working a little bit more just to get this built in time. Didn't happen, so we'll give them their leisure time back. That's fine and dandy. I don't mind them having their leisure time back. And I also changed their jobs so they're all constructing. We're going to change that back as well. We don't want them all constructing that fast. So you can go back to that. You can continue as my main constructor. And this could be built for maybe the next fight or maybe the fight after that. Who knows? We didn't really take any damage. Like Robert was probably the worst off, and doesn't actually say he's got anything wrong with him. He's just lost some hit points. He's got no actual injury though, so that's all fine and good. But because we have some dead bodies laying about, that will make them sad. We'll need a pyre, because that'll be the quickest way of burning these guys up and getting rid of their bodies. So we'll just place that over here, and with that we're going to place a dump zone as well. So in here there's a dump zone. That's warfare. We don't want warfare, we want dump zone. There we go. And in here we can clear out any bad things. Is over here. You can might dump people. I don't want you to dump people over here. Materials, human, yeah, don't want you to dump humans there, and I don't want you to dump waste there either. And just tidy up my menu so I can see what I'm doing next time, and there we go. So that'll get built, this will get picked up, and that'll be continued to build, and our food reserves are a little bit low, so our next job which is to be do a little bit of a harvest. So we'll just harvest all these mushrooms here because they're all fully matured. And now someone needs their thing attended to, which is a bruise chest. I'm going to let that until you get to night time and sleep, and then I'll do that myself. And I have a research available. We will do that. We'll pick up agriculture, and that would be a great way to start spring day 7. We'll be putting in a few of the doing some seeding, should I say. The word I was looking for is some seeding. So as 3 of them wake up, well I should say 3 of them, only 2 of them wake up. What are you doing? Healing and healing. Why are you waking up? You should be up. There you go, he is finally up. Right, I've queued up a couple of little jobs. One is to dig a little bit more, just to make our food storage area a little bit larger. That is all good. Also got them queued up to do a little bit of collecting some items over here, as well as picking up some berries from over here. And these as well, which can be 3 more bedrooms, so they're flat bang up against that as well. Might lay in some like wood flooring in here or something eventually, just to make it look good, because travel speed on dirt is 85%. If I put wood flooring down, that'll be 100%, so there will be a little bit quicker, which would be quite handy to have every little optimization like so. So once all that is picked up and hurled about, then should see what is going on. No, I've clicked the wrong button over there. I'll ignore that. Alright, so we need a little bit more wood by all accounts, so we'll queue up a bit of wood chopping as well. And we'll pick up the spots where trees are in my way, because I need a good line of sight. We've also still got this constructing over here to do, so definitely need all of this out of my way. And once that is all done, we should be good for the day. That'll probably be a day. Would like to get some planting done as well at some point, so let's have a little look. In here we have a load of different types. Cabbage is going to be a good staple food, so we will do 4x4. I think 4x4 is a good size for this cabbage. We're going to need these blue flares, a seedling of a food oil, and stems for linen. We're not really looking at linen yet, so I'm just going to ignore the flack. Carrot as well is for food, as well for beetroot, which is easy to grow, and hardy as well in your garden, so it takes 8 days. Maximum yield in 8 days, should say grow time is 20 days. I think peak is like 6, so you can see how much like your peak delivery is going to be. So 9 carrots, 10 beetroot. Barley is a big one, because that is beer, should I say, some beer and ale, so barley. And you need herbs, because herbs are for your healing as well as that. So we're going to put in a couple of herbs, 8 herbs, and then some tall grass. I'm going to put in. Tall grass will then allow us to get a little bit of extra hay back. That's really important. So whoever our bottomy guy is, so whoever that is, that'll be Butloff. No, not Butloff. This guy, I'm actually going to make him a little bit more important to grow. I'm going to get you to start growing a little bit more. Make that your main job for today, is to try and get as much of this planted as you can. We can plant trees as well, as you probably did see and hear, but we're not going to be planting trees quite yet because we've got plenty of trees around. We'll plant trees back up in the future. So who is chopping trees at the moment? What's going on? Gardening, constructing, and getting resources for construction. Who is chopping trees? Let's make you chop trees a little bit more. Yeah, grow. I'm going to take grow off you. And we'll make you cut the plants down. Because you're okay at bottomy, so I'm happy to do that. And that construction failed, but as you can see, these are now starting to be built. So we're going to have some good archer towers for the defense on this side. And another day is going to dusk. Just going to note that they're actually sleeping in the ones without a roof or walls, and then they're going to complain that they slept outside and they're not sleeping in the beds. So the AI is not the most intelligent. Day 8, and they pretty much have all of the jobs queued up from yesterday as well. So yeah, constructing this. It's need to construct the pyre still. So I'm going to guess they haven't dragged the dead bodies over. I don't even remember where our fight was. Over this direction. Nope, the dead bodies still haven't been brought over. So oh, he's now doing that. Bummouse now bringing that over. Then he needs to build this, and then he can do that. So priority, he can't do that because resources aren't available to deliver, because we need someone to get on with the chopping. Who's meant to be chopping? That's you, isn't it, Blake? Are you meant to be chopping? Are you preparing food at the moment? That's fine. I don't mind food prep. Talking of food prep, we've now got an extra person, so let's bump that up to 8. Need to make sure that we have food at all times. Cooking. You're doing cooking over cutting plants at the moment. I need somebody to cut plants. And urgently. To cut plants. That's a decision I've made. He just needs to chop trees fast. Because we need lots and lots of wood to build our buildings. And they could probably go as well, because we're going to need some hay for the roofs. Day 9, as they wake up grumpy because they slept in the wrong buildings again, because they didn't actually complete the buildings because I ran out of wood again. So I've had to tell pretty much everyone to chop plants. So yeah, you two are chopping plants pretty much as your job at the moment. Two have done the digging and they built the flooring in here. So we've expanded this zone, so that is now 4 by 5, so that is 20. That is quite a lot of food storage. And it is also 4 degrees down here, so this is not decaying. As you can see, there has taken a little bit of hit points of some of them where they were sitting out in the dirt early on, but now they're not. So that is good. Now we can start building up our food resources a little bit more and start preparing for the winter. But we're very, very early on. We've got a couple of seasons ahead of us, so it's pretty much in cruise control at this point. We're just trying to build up all the stuff. There we go, the pyre is done. So now the pyre is built, we are going to say this is forever. So whoever is a dead body gets put here is always going to get burnt. That is great to see. Unless we get cannibal. Into cannibal, then I might have to change my plans and build a separate kitchen for the cannibal to eat and cook in. That would be a handy thing for them, because can't waste food when you're in the medieval times. You know, you can't do stuff like that. So you know, it's all great. They're all going off because they're hungry and thirsty and fancying a drink, so they're going off and doing that. They will always bring it back to the table. And I did not actually do any more with this room, so now I think they've done most of the constructing everywhere else, and our wood supply is non-existent, so we can queue up a few more jobs. We're just going to be chopping trees as always chopping trees. We're just going to improve this line of sight over this direction more and more and more. That's something that I really want to be doing. That's growing, don't want to do that. That's growing, that's mature. Trees do replant on their own, but it is not that quick. So once we've done that, does that need a roof? That does need a roof. or have you built the roof on that? Thatch roof? Are you on here? Don't think you are, so we'll do that. We'll build the thatch roof. And then we've got another layer, another story should I say. So we'll put a wall in there to do that. And I haven't got enough resources yet, but we will do. We'll start the game off so they can actually start moving around a little bit. Put that in there. And do we need another another door? I could just put some spikes on top of here and then have this as a little bit of an outpost with a little bit of a sight line. So that's probably what we're going to do, is just do this instead of over here. So a little bit of a balcony area, if you see. And then from there, people will be able to snipe out this direction, because this is quite an okay direction really, because we've got this. But if we need to fall back from this position for any reason, we've got another balcony. We can put our archer up, and that'll be fine. 2 rooms, bedroom created, and bedroom created, and they'll be happy over there about that. Over here, the chopping is going well. That is a dead tree, that needs to get chopped. That can get absolutely hauled out of the way. And then in here, we are going to place a little bit more leisure, because they're probably quite grumpy, because we haven't given them anything religion-wise yet. So we're going to pump one in one, and one in the other, and in the future we can add in a couple of decorative things that then makes them temples. And once they are temples, people will then go to them and pray and be super happy about it, and it'll be a really effective. Talking of that, we have research, and we're going to go into brewing, because we need to start getting some drinks made, because we're going to be running out of the drinks that we have originally. So to do that, have a brewing station, and a brewing station can go in this room. There should be enough room for him. No, there is if we delete the bed actually. So yeah, delete the bed, and then we can place the brewing station in here like so. That'd be excellent. So bed's out of the way, brewing station goes in, and we should be fine and dandy. I'm happy with these defensive structures. It's not 100% built yet. Tud is just going to finish that off. Excellent, Tuddy. Thank you very much for that. Once this brewing station is built, we can start brewing some drinks. So, Blake, actually I'm standing right here, my friend. Do you mind just building that for me? He's not the quickest of builders, but he got there in the end, and now we have the ability to build some rough wine, and we have plenty of red currants, and as you can see, Robert has just picked all of these as well, so lots and lots of red currants here. There's only 7s, but that's a good amount. So we can start brewing, and I don't know how many drinks they have a day, but I'm gonna say so they have 4, so they always have 1 drink a day. Rough wine. Ideally I need another brewing station for the barley, but that is going to be a while off, because that is still young, and that is 11 days away. That is going to be near the end of summer, so there's no need to build another brewing station quite yet. This cabbage is only 2 days away from maximum yield, so we should get a couple of batches of cabbages in before that. The herbs are going to be in time, and so is the tall grass, which is excellent. Really happy about that. In fact, we then might plant a few bushes maybe, because how many more days till they re-ripen? 2 more days. That's fine, like 3 days. We're going to get, that'll be the first day of summer. We'll probably get another 3 or 4 yields out of summer. That's going to be lots and lots of drinks and lots of food ready for the winter. And we have autumn to go, and they're still growing in autumn, so no drama whatsoever. And we've left these deer alone. There's plenty of deer on the map, so if we need to go hunting for a deer, we have Buttmoff, and he has the bow, and he can do that for us if we need. Probably do a little bit of hunting in autumn just to bulk up. And we're just going to let this game hurry on. Day 11, so only 1 more day after this of spring, and today I think we're going to build a couple more archer posts and clear out a load more trees. So we're going to go this way, because our cellar's over here, and I want to make sure it is protected at all times. So, right, so now we have a big space that I'm very happy to use here. So I don't like this. I don't like this little space, but we can use that as a natural moat. That's fine. That's a natural pinch point. We can use that as maybe an escape for us, or maybe only a way in, for example. That's pretty cool to use. So Just need to build up some walls and build up a little bit of height. So extra height is never going to hurt in this situation, I don't think. I don't think it's ever going to hurt. So we're just going to build up a couple of these just so we get a little bit of there and there. We'll zoom out so you can see the height of this thing that it's going to be. Really tall. We're going to double wall, as you can see around here, just to make it match this terrain a little bit, and then that one there as well. That should give us plenty of space. So I might even make like a gate in here, so we then put a door in there, for example. Door so we can escape if we want. A wooden door. There we go. Nice wooden door that we can lock ourselves. And we'll probably come in here and just go through this like that. Do we want a staircase down there? Nah. We'll do this. Do that, do that, do that. Probably wouldn't mind coming out a little bit further, but that way that's going to be a lot of resources, so let's not do that. Don't want it to be too big. I think that's the problem you can do in this game, is you can do too big, and then you don't have the resources to do it, and then you don't have the ability to do it. So we'll do that. We'll do a door like so. Always put a floor in. We're going to put a wood floor in because we should have lots and lots of wood from all of the trees that we just chopped down around us. I'm actually also going to put a storage area in here with the whole idea of just putting wood in here, because that will work. That will work. So we're just going to clear all materials, and where is wooden sticks, just as an extra bit of storage. Doesn't hurt having wooden sticks and hay in here. That never would be a bad thing. And then from on top of that, we're going to need a staircase, of course. So probably going to need a couple of staircases. Always want a couple just because that is extra safe. So we'll do the doors there and the doors there, so those two can go like that. And then we need to put a wooden beam in, maybe put in a window just so you can see out a little bit on this floor if you want. Then we put upward flooring in. We're going to use the wood because we want the speed movement up here, because they're in this defensive position. And then you can put your wooden top on here like so. Rotate him and place all of these in, and then once this is built, it's going to be a nice defensive tower over here with a little bit of storage, a bonus bit of storage as well in that that we can use. So I'll be back once this is built. The final day of spring is among us, and as they run on to grab some food before they get on with their day's work, they're just going to do all of this. I don't know why that's not built. I'm going to guess that's in the way. That's in the way, so that won't be built. That's just annoying. It's annoying that got placed there. It doesn't really matter though. But yeah, two of them are going to be on this. You're going to be speed building this as fast as they can, while the other two are pretty much hauling. And when he wakes up, he should just be harvesting resources and doing some farming as well, which is really, really good to see. As you can see, we've got the first crops from the hay and our wheat, which is really good to see. And our cabbages are 11 hours away from ripening. So tomorrow we're going to have some fresh cabbages that we can then replant, because tomorrow will be summer and the heat will be upon us, and we should have this all fully built as soon as Tud and BMF get their backside into gear, which would be really good to have. It is a nice tower, it's got some nice storage in it. It's nothing fancy really, it's not like a crazy build, but it's going to give me a great lay of the land. These trees need to go. That is going to be one thing. Yeah, definitely these guys need to get out of my way, because I need a nice clean line of sight. And I've just seen all of those berries down there as well. That'd be a great thing to start harvesting as well. Just yeah, I want to pick all of these berries that are nearly ripening as well. So you could go through there, pick all of them, and get those in storage as well, because why not? It's free berries. And with that, summer is upon us, and we'll be saving that for next episode. We'll be going through the whole of summer, trying to gather all of the resources ready for the winter and the autumn, as well as just trying to grow our base as well, to see what raids and settlers that come our way. Thank you very much for watching. I've been TW1. This has been Going Medieval Spring, just going through all of spring. It's been really good fun doing this save so far. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hit like, hit subscribe as always, and peace